Just mad about Angel Awards.
For the 2011 Angel Film Awards, the festival's honorary president, legendary singer-songwriter Donovan, turned one of his most famous songs into an anthem for the occasion.
Come on, they call me Mellow Yellow.
4 days of short films, documentaries and movies from around the world, all with a non-violent theme and not a car chase or shootout in sight, were introduced by the Troubadour of Peace.
Wherever you've come from, you're going to go away enriched. You will see things you've never seen before.
Mum, is that you?
The festival's gala screening was My Angel. Joseph Phillips plays a schoolboy who has a vision of an angel while traumatised by his mother's near-fatal road accident.
Nice uniform, Eddie.
Our washing machine's broken.
Come in, sit down.
2 times BAFTA winner Timothy Spall is the headmaster who struggles to answer his students' questions.
Right. I'm not quite sure what you're about, Eddie, or why you're here. But I am certain that you're passionate about what you believe.
Yeah, that's what I was...
Yeah, whilst I don't believe your story about angels, I am prepared to listen. Because listening is the key to knowledge, and knowledge is why we're all here. Through adversity to the stars. I've always been rather fascinated in angels. I draw angels, and I've seen a couple. Because I was seriously ill 15 years ago, and then about 5 years later I was a bit worried that I might have been ill again. And I was in my kitchen in London, and I turned round and looked out the back. I just happened to turn around, and I saw this sort of odd spherical figure about that big. It just dipped under the lintel of the kitchen door, and it had like wings inside it, flapping. And I thought it looked like a peculiar insect, but it wasn't an insect, and then it just floated back up away, and I felt better afterwards. It's a very concrete story. It's set now, but it has a flight of the magical about it.
Taboo subjects.
I hate my life. I hate it.
A British filmmaker thanked the festival for honouring her short documentary on gang rape. An elderly couple's struggle with dementia. A Swedish short film about a woman facing a fatal diagnosis. The frustration of a stroke victim. All won recognition at the Angels. A participant with learning difficulties braved the spotlight for an award in the short documentary category. A film about equestrian events at the upcoming 2012 Olympics highlighted the determination of Paralympic competitors.
Nobody knows how hard it is for the Paralympics to go off and then for them to actually get there. You know, the Olympics are hard enough.
Actress Jane Fonda, now in her 70s, was among distinguished older women who share their wisdom and urge others to speak out in a documentary receiving its European premiere.
You know, the other day I told these girls that I'm 70 and they went, oh, shh, you don't look 70, you shouldn't say. You know, and I thought, how sad. Do they really think that life peaks in youth? Do they really think I would want to go back?
We're so afraid of age. We're so afraid of aging. But what older means, it entails all that. It entails wisdom. And we really need to embrace that. It's very immature. It's a very immature culture.
And it's got very extreme now.
It is extreme.
And which is why it's a great time for us to speak our thoughts and our feelings, because everybody's got to the point where they actually realize they're empty inside and they want something more.
I shared my impression that issues of ageing and death were a distinctive theme in this year's screenings with the festival's director.
That the end is always near and the future is unclear. And once you get this trip, everything gets better for everyone and all of us.
The biggest budgets go to action movies, usually violent films which conveniently hide the consequences of violence. Some 60% of films feature guns, many donated by gun makers as product placement. It's supposed to be cathartic. We take out our violence on the screen. But the Angel Film Awards is where that approach will always be challenged. Here in Monaco, filmmakers make the counter-argument most eloquently by placing humanitarian values in front of our eyes.
Dear Sir Martin Gilbert, as a Rwandan and an anti-genocide activist who lost many members of my family to genocide, I could not think of a better project to be part of.
One of those filmmakers is Michael King, who won Best Narration for a documentary about forgotten heroes who spoke out against genocide.
They're role models for me. They did the right thing. And that's what it really is all about, isn't it? Doing the right thing.
Writer and activist John Cookson titled his quirky film How to Boil a Frog with heavy irony, as if governments and corporations were deliberately frying the planet.
The movie to me it's sort of a piece of the brand. In other words, whatever the most effective way is to slow down the industrial machine that is gobbling up the planet and impoverishing 2/3 of human beings.
How are we all doing?
With the BBC's Babita Sharma in charge of ceremonies, there was a Lifetime Achievement Award for the film composer John Altman. He told me non-violent themes posed a challenge for composers too.
We've almost seen a standardized version over the last 10 years of action music, and it's all rather interchangeable. You know, it's sort of you hear one score and soundtrack and it sounds very much like the next one, like the next one. And I think the interesting thing is actually scoring human emotion and you know, underplaying certain scenes and overplaying others and underscoring certain moments.
Donovan is one of the composers whose songs have been most frequently heard in films. He was happy to be back on stage at the close, the presiding spirit of the festival.
But there's something special about the Angel Awards that we really love. What I love is to see the young filmmakers come here and how special they feel, because Monte Carlo is special. You don't get lost in the crowd in this festival.
They call me Mellow, yeah.